Sup, motherfuckers? I'm back. So, in case there's a lot of you guys, it's like first video you're watching me. Back in, to give you some context, back in, I want to say November, but it's like end of 2024, I posted my first ever YouTube video announcing that I'm building this YouTube channel around me wanting to scale my own brand and the journey of that. So, there's like a saying that a lot of people like fucking die by, which is like direction over speed. I don't like that saying. I think it's misleading. I think you find direction in the midst of speed, meaning that if you just sit there doing nothing, twiddling your fingers, expecting yourself to find direction, it's like the probability of that is very low. Like you're not gonna figure things out. I feel like a better saying that people need to embody and really need to understand and take action on is fail fast. That's how I sort of live my life, and I feel like that is like the most logical way to find your direction, because the more things you try, especially at the start, you're very highly likely to fail things, but by failing fast, you know what to not to do, like what to avoid, and that opens new pathways, because obviously within failing something, you learn a ton of new things, which leads you down to these rabbit holes. And so that's what the last kind of few months were about for me, man. I've got to make sure that everything makes sense. Like I'm going into something with the highest probability of succeeding, because at the end of the day, if I'm going to scale a business and if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it at the highest level. And you can't just do that shit off a whim and off a hope. So sitting back, I'm thinking, I'm someone who wants to, like, I want to scale fast, like, do you know what I mean? And so I was like, cool, this is the thought process. Let me digress into the thought process now. So, let's go. My head might be a bit cropped out in this, but fuck it. So when I'm looking to build a brand, what are the key components I am looking for, right? Now, the first one might confuse you, right? You might be a bit like, why the fuck would you want something that's saturated? Yes, it's pretty good the title of this video actually. I kind of got a video title idea already in my mind, but saturated. Now, saturated is not necessarily a fucking bad thing, okay? I don't ever think it is a bad thing. I feel like, even though the word saturated has a negative connotation in it, I think it's the most positive thing when it comes to building a brand, building a business. Because, look, I'll give you the two ways people perceive it. The common way, a pussy will look at saturation, essentially, and be like, oh my god, there's many people making billions of dollars from it. I don't know, like, how am I going to compete with the billions of dollars? Like, nah, like, that's a shit mentality, right? A boss, a real G, will look at that, and if something is saturated and people making billions of dollars from this product, this market, whatever, that means that market is validated. That means there are fucking buyers. I don't think people actually underestimate how many consumers there are in this world. You know what I mean? There's always a niche, and somebody's entering that niche every single day, is what I'm trying to say. So I actually am looking for something that's validated. Saturated equals validated in my mind, right? Why? Because that leads me to point number 2. It is scalable, right? Another key component is there's no point building a business in my mind if it's not fucking scalable. Like for me, I want to be doing at least 1 million a month. Yes, 1 million a month. That number might scare a lot of people, but really and truly, if there's hundreds of thousands of businesses that do this, why can't I? There's actually no difference in terms of the fact that they found a market where that is possible. It's just all about logic at the end of the day, I believe. So if I want to be able to make 8 figures a year with this business and have a global impact, I have to pick a market where that has been proven that works, because at the end of the day, I don't really have a revolutionary idea. I'm not fucking Einstein, I'm not a scientist, I'm not coming through with anything groundbreaking, right? So whatever I'm gonna pick, let's say for example it's clothing, hey, millions of people do clothing, but that's a good thing because thousands of those millions are running 9-figure brands, fuck 8 figures, some of them making fucking 9 figures, so it's validated, right? Now, that leads me on to step number 3. If you're going to enter a saturated market, you need an edge. Otherwise, yes, it is truly saturated and you are wasting your time. You cannot compete with the big boys who are making this amount of money if you're gonna be trying to do the exact same thing they're doing, no innovation, it's just like, why would anyone pick your thing over their thing? It's just not gonna work. So you need an edge. And just to kind of further expand on that, an edge meaning like, there needs to be a gap in the market. There needs to be something where your competitors aren't doing well or they aren't doing at all, so then you can come in and innovate. And it can even be a small thing, right? It doesn't have to be something, again, revolutionary. Like, don't overcomplicate it. It could literally be a style of ad that they're not running, or a certain variation of a product, right? It's just something, or maybe a certain audience, maybe they're targeting women and not men, or something like that. Like, that is an edge, that is a gap in the market, right? And then the final point for me, which is super important, is a key component is being able to be remote. I don't want to be tied to a physical fucking location. Who the fuck does nowadays, to be honest? So that is JB's 4 key components of what I'm thinking now if I want to scale a real brand for myself. So now you're probably thinking, this is all good, Joe, like this is great, JB. Have you actually fucking worked on anything since you last chatted to us? I have, actually, for the last month. I have picked a market, picked a product, tested ads, and it's been about 4 weeks since I started. And it's promising, man. Like, I think in a few months from now, like, there will be huge updates that I can give you guys. Now, with all that being said, you're probably thinking, well, why the fuck have you not been documenting it like you said you would? If I'm being honest, like, this is my way of documenting it. Yeah, if I'm gonna do this, I'm obviously gonna prioritize this over like making a YouTube video and editing it myself, etc. But I actually don't think it would be that beneficial for you guys to give you guys regular updates, like weekly, like I was actually planning to back in the day, because in business, for every one thing that goes right and for everything I figure out, like, I'm getting 20 things wrong. And it's just like, I'd rather prove myself, build in silence, actually give it my all and a real shot. So then when I come back and do the things that I've said I was gonna do, I can actually give you guys real source and just cut past the BS and give you the unfiltered, just sort of blueprint on how I got there. Things take time, like I said, guys, like, especially when you have genuine serious goals, like that go up there of 1 million a month isn't like, I don't just say that lightly. Like, you know, I know everyone says I want to be a millionaire, I want to be whatever. Like, do you know what? I actually don't care about being a millionaire, but I actually genuinely am passionate about building something that will outlast me, you know what I mean? And stuff like that, you know, naturally do produce a lot of fucking money. And so money is just a byproduct of being an excellent builder and providing something to the market that hasn't been provided before. And so, yeah, that's just the way my mind is. I'm gonna give you guys a lot of source. If anyone's like looking, you know, to scale their own brand and do things, you gotta think about things. You gotta really reverse it. You gotta have your goal in mind. The way I think about it, I have my goal in mind. I have my current situation, and the thing in between is all the different variables that can change, and the equation that you have to figure out is what is going to give you the highest probability in succeeding in terms of getting that goal. And so that's what you got to really figure out. But then in that equation, it's like, okay, you figure out one thing, like you want it to be, you want an edge, for example, and then you actually have to go ahead and dive a bit deeper and figure out what that edge is. And so that's just what a lot of it is. It's like I've been problem solving, fucking reverse engineering a lot of things, going down rabbit holes, just the boring stuff. But I believe that it's all going to pay off because I know the type of person I am. Yeah, it's going to work. I know for a fact I'm going to hit that goal of $1 million a month. It's just when, really and truly. So yeah, just thought I'd make this video. It's not a cool edit like the other ones. It's just about actually like what the YouTube channel was supposed to be about. Kind of took a detour with it, but hey, hope this was cool for you guys to fucking pick my brain a little bit, the inside of what's going on up here. But yeah, like obviously feel free if anyone's actually doing that thing, need a little bit of help or just want some, you know, just I don't know, just fucking ask me a question, right? If it's something I haven't covered in the video and you're curious to know, just fucking ask me a question, and I can be transparent in hitting you back. But Other than that though guys, that was pretty much it. And I'm gonna catch you in my next video. Safe.